and thanks for joining us. I'm going to be going over some basic details and a way to look up and see if a web page from a company is something that you'd like to buy or not. It's just some guidelines that are given to us by the World 3 Consortium, or also known as the W3C, which are the standards that we go by as web designers and developers here in our industry. So without further ado, I'm just going to go through some things and just follow along. And I know it could be kind of complicated, but I'm just going to show you some details and what to look for so that you get a good product for your money. So here we have one of our competitor sites. You just find a blank space anywhere on the website, and I would recommend you doing this to all home pages of the anyone who you're thinking of representing your company and designing your page for you. So what you do is you just right click and on any blank spot on the background of the page, and then you want to view page source, and that is going to bring up the page source code. Here, what you expect to see, as according to the W3C, is mostly HTML. Barely anything else should be there unless it's like a Google tag or something for analytical reasons that has to be there. Other than that, you don't want any other scripting or any other CSS style elementing going on inside of your source page if you can help it. And there's very, very few times where you find that that's necessary. As you can see here right off the bat, there's a JavaScript function here. There's another JavaScript function here. Here's a reference to a site where the code was not built. It was actually just imported from a different site. I guess Edit My Site would be that particular company. And then right off the bat, you can see style elements right here. This is CSS code that should not be here. Should be referenced from another page. And we haven't even gotten, this is only 10% down the page. So here's another jQuery function. It's just a red flag. If there's things going on like this inside of before the head is even closed of your web page, and it's just not good practices. And if this is the kind of practices that go on inside, it's just not what you want for your company. You want very clean design, and that's all SEO oriented, because we want, when the search engine crawls the site, it only does the first megabyte, the first 1024 bytes or kilobytes, excuse me, or all that is crawled. So we want quality crawling. We want every piece of semantic rich data that we can translate through that we want done. So let me show you what it should look like. So this is our page, Patterson.enterprises. You can find it by just typing in Patterson.enterprises in your URL bar, and it will send you to our page. So you just right click on the background just like we did before with our competitors page, and you hit view page source. Okay, right off the bat you can see there's our declaration. You can see the one thing that sticks out here is a Google tag. As I mentioned before, Google tags are unavoidable. They're used for analytical purposes, and we like to put them in there exactly the way they are into the source code. It helps us with analytical transactions. They're recorded better. So we keep that there. Right off the bat, you can see clear differences between our code. All of our code is very neat as far as just the overall presentation of it and the structure. We have each tag classified down in a step way here. We step down from one into another and make it very simple to understand and very easy to look at. We put headers on every one of our codes that we use because we want people to know what they're getting. We want people to understand how it works the best they can. And I think education and knowledge is vital when making these kind of decisions. So I'm trying to give you every piece of information so that you can make your own decision. And you can look this stuff up that I'm telling you. You can Google it. You might want to Google W3C and see who they are and see really what I'm talking about. Google, what do they say about just look at their standards. Just Google through their standards and look, and there's a whole bunch of information out there. And why? That's the most important thing. Why should we do it this way? Because there's a reason for it. And just to keep on going here, you can see our content. Everything is, just laid out where it's digestible. You know, it makes it very system oriented that we can change certain parts and not have to waste the time in putting all big sections back out there, that we can tweak little minor things here and there and makes a big impact because we've, systematically layered pages together for this reason specifically. So I'm not going to bore you to death with all this stuff. I do want you to be educated. I do want you to know the difference between crappy design and just somebody throwing some stuff together and just get it to look the best that they can. Because I agree with that. It does need to look the best that it can, but it also needs to work the best that it can for you. Or, if it's not doing the best it can, it's not doing anything, in my opinion. So just please educate yourself on this, guys, and really important stuff. And stay tuned for my first video in the series Fastlane. And the Fastlane series will contain on how to build websites from the ground up and an easy way to learn it with your building information on top of each other. So you guys, thank you again for joining us and take care.